WFUZ-TV, Coastal Alabama, Northwest Florida, the People's Voice.
I didn't know about this, but I was researching it, and on Coastal Gateway Boulevard, they're building a whole park, like a big center park. Well, it got approved, and it's all like they have little plans and schematics on what they're going to do with it. It's very nice, but it was approved in like 2022, I think, and now it's 2025, and nothing's started construction-wise. It's just in the master plan, and one day they'll build it when they have the money.
And where is that?
Over by my house on Coastal Gateway Boulevard. It's like in between the zoo and this and that. Like it's really centered to everything. It's like a central park for that area of Gulf Shores. And it's supposed to tie that whole area together because over there in Craft Farms, there's like this huge empty swath of land. And I wondered what they were going to do there. They did like an aerial map and they showed it and it looks really awesome. I'm like, wow, that'd be great. But been approved 3 years ago. They haven't even started construction on it. And who knows when they're going to. If you go to the site too, it says, we will begin construction when funding allows. So they don't have money for that, but they have money for, I guess, the pedestrian bridge or whatever else.
$24 million was the number that I was given on that. $24 million pedestrian bridge.
So the pedestrian bridge, I see the benefits and I see the downside of it. In terms of the downside, I worry about, I hate to say it, but like injuries, people jumping off, people accidentally like biking up there or taking some other vehicle and the vehicle's getting tossed off. Like, I don't know. What do you think's going to happen with that?
I was riding with a friend to go play a wedding in Dothan the other day, and we were talking about this, and we talked about the increased ease of human trafficking, that access to that waterway, and being able to get out to the Gulf quickly, just snatch somebody off the bridge late at night that's crossing it by themselves.
That's very true, especially because the canal is right there. And I believe, and I've always said this, that most human trafficking occurs on the water. Most of these people are actually coming in through barges and tugboats and through the intercoastal waterway. So that is kind of, people think I-10 corridor, interstate's actual border, but it's more water. It's always been more water. It's easy. There's not necessarily customs at every juncture, and it's just a lot easier to traffic people on the water, unfortunately. So now that we have this pedestrian bridge right above the canal, like you said, that poses a whole new set of risks.
Yes, and you don't even have interdepartmental coordination between Escambia County, which abuts Baldwin County. And so if someone begins a human trafficking operation in Gulf Shores or Orange Beach or Escambia County and crosses borders, we don't have any known interdepartmental coordination to work together to try to track that down and find it and stop it.
Yeah, the mayors don't even know each other. The sheriffs don't know each other. There is no real communication between Baldwin County and Escambia or Pensacola, though they will talk to Mobile. It's like this little area in between the two, or off to the side rather, is completely bypassed in some of the discussion. And for traffickers or people who are seeking to do harm, that's the perfect spot. It's the perfect spot for them to come in and make a move when they know there's not necessarily any oversight like there would be in a bigger port city.
And again, going back to capabilities, when we had issues with online stalkers and we went to Gulf Shores Police Department, they didn't have the, it's a simple matter of software to track down the numbers from what we were told. And so we have somebody that gave us death threats over the phone, but they don't have the technology to track that down, whereas neighboring Escambia County does. And if we're now, number 6 growing in the nation on development, then we should have every bit of those capabilities down here. And those, same as those major metropolitan areas, same capabilities technologically. We have to have those things. If we have the money for a $24 million pedestrian bridge, we need to have something as simple as technology for our police department and interdepartmental training.
Also, we should have access to police reports that we as citizens make. Why on earth are we not allowed to get a copy of our own records, of our own police reports? Why should we have to hire an attorney to subpoena them when we made the report ourselves? To me, that has zero logic behind it and just is a burden and proves to be really cumbersome for people that want to go forward with their complaints and have a paper trail. I don't understand that.
Yes, because I would like to get a hold of it to just simply see if the officer was even capable of writing a good report. You see all the time that an officer is not good with grammar or spelling and does not know how to properly write a narrative that supports what you told them. And so that's important to be able to see what the officer interpreted your words into in his written narrative, especially if they're not going to take a written narrative from you, a written statement signed by you and all that, like I've done in other departments. I just really did not understand being denied making my own written statement.
I don't understand why you can't film inside a courthouse or the clerk's office too. In Florida, they are very open about being able to film, being able to track what you're doing. You can't even take a cell phone in there. To me, that puts up red flags because I think it shows that you're hiding something, that you don't want any transparency. And I don't understand that either. I get that they'll say, oh, it's for the privacy of people who are going to court or whatever. But when you're there yourself, you're not asking to go into the courtroom in the judge's chambers and start recording. You're asking to just go file a paperwork or go do something else where you need to be able to track what you're doing. You can't even bring your phone in to pull phone numbers or data or notes or anything else off of, to look at the clerk or write down names of who you're interacting with so you can trace your steps. That's a problem.
It is, yes, indeed.
And going back to the election thing, so every candidate currently running for city council in Gulf Shores, which I don't think there's many, but the current Gulf Shores city council people and then other candidates that are hoping to challenge them and get in, every single person I've seen, their priority is growth. We want to manage the growth. We want more growth. We want to have smart growth. What about somebody come out and say, how about no growth? Why don't we halt the growth? That's what I would like to see somebody come out and say.
Moratorium, yes, on development and building and all of that.
Well, no one's going to come out and say that because everybody needs funding and they want funding from these developers, from the condo owners, from things like that, because that's how they're going to get their election win. They're going to dump thousands and tens of thousands of dollars into candidates that will support their smart growth, which really isn't that smart. It's just more condos and more traffic and more congestion and less infrastructure. So what benefit does it give them to come out and say, oh, no growth? They're not going to do it.
But we for sure come across things that say that it should stop, right? People
Yes.
are definitely saying it. It's apparently falling on deaf ears.
Orange Beach did a 6-month moratorium, and so did Fairhope. Gulf Shores has not, which is also a problem. But 6-month moratorium really isn't going to do anything either. It stopped for several years, to be honest.
Yeah, and we need to see what the long-term consequences of what's being done now are going to be with traffic flow and crime and people moving in, people moving out, and all that before we can keep going with more development. It has to come to a head, just chill for a minute and not do anything with it and just step back and take a look at what's been accomplished. Why must there be a constant back patting? Oh, we're growing. Let's keep growing. What is, at some point, the island's going to sink under the weight of our own condos.
Well, also there is an approval. There's tons of things that are already approved to build, starting with that park I was talking about off Coastal Gateway. Then we have a whole new elementary school. So they're building a new elementary school just like they're building a new high school, but it hasn't began construction yet. But that's already approved. There's things like that we're never going to get to, and that are going to take a back seat, I guess, to more condos and more houses. And they're going to be like, there's no place for these kids to go to school. We should hurry up and start building that. Well, it's already been approved now. Let's have the foresight to begin these things that have been approved, get them completed, and then build up the infrastructure to support that before you start building in the houses. The logic behind the time stamps of when these things are occurring is very odd to me.